Hello guys, welcome to Kara Technology. Today we will see function in Java. So in Java, a function is also known as a method. A method is a block of code that performs a specific task or action. Methods in Java help in organizing the code into reusable modules, reducing the redundancy and improving code maintainability. A method in Java typically has a return type and a name and may accept input parameters. So function in Java are basically the methods only, but we use return type to basically define function. So whenever you will see we have a return type, then understand that that is a function. Like here we have a basic syntax of it. So first we use access modifier, then we use return type, and then we use name of the method or function basically, and then we use parameters if you want. Like if it doesn't have any return type, means a data type for the returning the item, then we use void here. So here you can see we have a basic structure. Like first we use access modifier like public, private, and then we use static so that we do not have to create instance of that function, and then we have to define a return type. If we don't want to use return type, we use void, and then we use our name of the function, which is here add. Then if we want, we can declare parameters. Like here we have num1 and num2 as a parameter, and we also have to define the data type for those parameters. And it is important to at least define void if you are not using the return type here. And then we have basically we are adding both the numbers, so int sum equals to number 1 plus number 2. And if you want a return, if you want to return something here, you have to define the data type. Did you understand that? If you want a return type here, then you have to define the data type, and return type will not print the output, but it will return to the system. But if you want to print this, we use system.out.println, which is our printing statement. Did you understand? Then here we have an example of using a method. So here we have used static, and here we haven't used the static method. You have learned static above, and if you use static, you can directly call the method. And if you don't use static, you have to create the object, means instance of that. And then we will see a second scenario where we are defining the return type. Like here you can see we are here defining a return type, and here we aren't defining the return type. We are directly calling it to the main method, and here we are using return type. Then we are getting that in our main method and then subtracting it. Did you understand? So we will see all this example in our Eclipse IDE. So let's go there. So first of all, here I have defined a basic method where we are printing hello world, but it is static here. So I can directly call the name of the method or function basically to our main method. So here we have called the message here, and we use this circular brackets, and we doesn't have any parameter in this. Okay, so if I will run this, you will see our output will be hello world. You understand? And if I will not use static here, like if I will remove this static, then it will show me error. Means I have to create the instance of this first. Okay, so if I will comment this, and we'll create the instance of that. So to create an instance, we know first we have to use the name of the class. So here we have function which is name of the class. Then we use whatever name of that object we want. Like here if we want to say print, okay, and after that we use equals to, then we have to use new, and then we again have to use the name of the class, so which is function, and then circular bracket, which is very important. If I will close this, then see it will create our object, and then we can call the function which is inside the method. So using name of the object, like here we have print dot, what is the name of the function? We have message, MESSAGE, it is giving option. So I will enter this, so it came here, and if I will again run this, you will see our output. So we got our output, but here without using the static in our method. You understand why we use static? And next we will see how we use return type. Like here we have a method. Okay, like here we have a method here. We'll uncomment this, and then see here we are using static. Okay, so we don't have to create the instance of it, and then we are using void and then operation, which is our name of the method or function, you can say. Okay, And here we are having two parameters, num1 and num2, which is defined as integer data type. And then we are adding both the numbers in a add variable, and we are subtracting that add with 20. Okay, and then we are printing it. You understand what we are doing? We are adding and then subtracting those added number to our 20, and then we are printing that. So if I want to print this, you can see I have used that function here, and we are we are giving both the parameters here. I have given 4 and 6 here, as you can see. And if I will run this, 6 plus 4 will be 10, 20 minus 10 will be 10. So if I will run this, you will see our output as a 10. You understand how we use parameters? And now let us see how we define return type. Okay, so for example, here if I will remove this, okay, and as I have told you previously, if you want a return type, we have to use the data type there. So I will define data type as int here, int operation here, and then we are returning it, return, return add. So it will return us add of both the numbers, and now we can use this method to get just the add of both the number. Like here, if I want sum of both the numbers, so I will create a variable, for example, int sum equals to, what is our name of the function, which is operation. So operation, and then I will use the parameters here. What will you give in parameter? So again we will give 6 comma 4, which will be our 10. So if I will run this, you will not see any output here. Why? Because we haven't print this in our console. It is working at the backend, means it will not show us on the console. See, if I will run this, you will not see any output here. See, we are not getting any output. But if we want this in our printing statement, so what will we do? For example, I will use our printing statement, which will be our syso, and then control and space, which will give our printing statement, and then I can do whatever I want. For example, if I want to minus from this sum, then I will use, for example, 20 minus our sum. Okay, so it will give us output as 10. See, it gave us output as 10. You understand how we use them? And for example, if I want to create another variable which I will minus from that, like here int minus equals to, let's minus 20 from sum. So here what I will do, I will remove this and will use the name of the variable, which will be our minus. Okay, so it will again print us 10. So if I run this, you can see our output is 10 again. So this is how we use a return type, and how we have to define the data type before it. You understand? And here below we have some tasks which you have to practice so that you can understand better and learn well. Okay, so today we saw functions in Java. Thank you.